I think as a last post for this evening, I'd like to pick up some comments. People seem upset that Trump is planning to attend the papal funeral. Well, it's worth pointing out that when Pope John Paul II died, his funeral was attended not only by the sitting president of the United States at the time, but also by President Clinton, by George Bush Sr., that the British Prime Minister was present, Tony Blair, and Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, was present. Prince William is due, I believe, to attend the papal funeral this time. I would expect Keir Starmer to be there. I would expect, given the precedent, Trump and previous presidents of the United States to be in attendance. At the funeral of John Paul II, there were 10 sovereigns, there were 500 past and present heads of states. The Prime Minister of Russia was present. The President of Israel was seen. Oddly, because of the way that the Vatican arranges heads of state and senior politicians from different countries, the President of Israel was seen shaking hands with clear enemies from Syria, Iran, and twice shaking hands with Assad. The President of Israel at the time was Moshe Katsav. I think, and incidentally, Putin has said that he's not going to attend, and it's speculated that's because of the threat that he might be arrested. Netanyahu may also take the same view. But it's worth noting that at the funeral of John Paul II, Robert Mugabe attended despite an EU travel ban, demonstrating that in principle both Netanyahu and Putin could easily attend. Charles pushed to one side, delayed his wedding plans to Camilla because of the funeral. And China then snubbed the funeral, but I think would be expected to attend in some form this time, particularly because of the diplomatic efforts made by Parolin, who is, of course, one of the people who is cited as a papabile, and the diplomatic efforts made under the um, under the oversight of Pope Francis to try to sort out the problems between the Patriotic Association and the underground Catholic Church, the Patriotic Association, which was, of course, condemned, I think, by Pope Pius XII, um, and now, although there's no official relationship between the Vatican and China, there is this move to try to uh, sort out the the apostolic succession of bishops. I would also imagine that the Muslim world would be quite well represented. I would expect President Erdogan to attend as one of the longest serving leaders to be in the world, and for that matter, also the um, Eddie Rama in Albania. Albania sent quite a large contingent to Pope John Paul II's funeral. Georgia Maloney has gone on record now saying that her relationship with Pope Francis was one of friendship, which I think sums him up. He was quite severe doctrinally and liturgically, but he was very keen to establish that there was a difference between what is what is the rule and what is the pastoral implementation, and there can be some modifications. Um, I think the and also, of course, on the subject of the Muslim world, Azerbaijan was one of the first countries to send condolences and I think it's there will be a lot of talk. There will be a lot more talk about the Pope and about the possible successors. My list of papabile, which means almost certainly these are the people who will not be elected Pope, Zuppi, Parolin, Sarah, um, maybe the Archbishop, the Cardinal of Vienna, Louis Tagle, Marx of Munich, Erdo of Budapest, and Peter Turkson. I think one should look out for Pietro Parolin particularly. But the person who hasn't been mentioned in the press is Mikola Wiczok, who is the youngest cardinal. He was created a cardinal on the 7th of December 2024. He is Ukrainian, but he is resident in Melbourne in Australia. And I think one should think of the West novel, The Shoes of the Fisherman, and the corresponding film with Anthony Quinn. I think I think he would be somebody to flag up as a person of interest in the coming conclave. Anyway, those are my thoughts as a last post before bed. Good night.